and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for being with us. The Delaware Division of Social Services will issue the final emergency benefits for February today to eligible households as part of the state's ongoing response to the COVID-19 public health emergency. Due to a recent change in federal law, this will be the last and final emergency benefits payment as part of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Emergency benefits paid as two parts of cash assistance, temporary assistance for needy families, and the General Assistance Fund will continue until the end of the federal public health emergency this May. Beginning March 1st, SNAP households will receive their monthly regular food benefit amount on the normal issuance date and will no longer receive additional emergency food benefits on their EBT cards at the end of each month. More information and resources around this change can be found at de.gov/snapchanges. Officials encourage Delawareans in need of food assistance to call 211 or visit Delaware211.org to find the nearest closet or food pantry near you. Now, you can also go to the Food Bank of Delaware's website. That's fbd.org. In other news, a new 21-page report has been released detailing the problems in some of our local post offices. Last October, the Lancaster Avenue Post Office right here in Wilmington had over 68,000 delayed letters, magazines, and packages. That, according to the new Federal Inspector General's report, and making matters worse, not one of them was logged as delayed, as it should have been. That stat is just one part of an inspection of 3 post offices here in Newcastle County and 3 in Philadelphia. The report found deficiencies in each post office in areas including delayed mail, package scanning, and truck arrival scanning. Now, this report comes among continuing complaints among Postal Service, including skipped mail, long delivery times, and long lines for service. It made 8 recommendations, but it's not clear what the causes were, and lack of staff and inadequate training when they'll be fixed. The Wilmington area was audited based on congressional interest in Delaware and concerns raised in a U.S. House hearing last September. The audit started in October to look for election mail. It found 26 pieces of delayed election mail up in Philadelphia, and then it continued through February. Last week, several members of the Delaware State University women's bowling team spent Thursday night in a Virginia hospital after their bus crashed. DETV's Kaylin Pride has an update.
On Thursday morning, a charter bus carrying the Delaware State University women's bowling team was involved in a crash on their way to a tournament in North Carolina. The crash happened in Dinwiddie County, Virginia on I-85. According to a statement from university officials, the charter bus reportedly ran off the road and overturned. All 11 passengers, which included 8 players, the coach, a university official, and the driver, were transported to area hospitals for treatment. The injuries range from non-life-threatening to serious, and according to state troopers, 2 people were transported via medical flight. The Delaware State University bowling team received many thoughts and prayers from other university bowling teams on social media and from the United States Bowling Congress. An update was posted on the bowling team's website stating that they are grateful for the outpouring of prayers and support following the accident. The update also mentioned that 5 of the players were treated and released while others remained at the hospital overnight. As of now, the driver was charged with reckless driving and failure to maintain control of a vehicle. The crash continues to be investigated by Virginia State Police. For DETV News, I'm Kaylin Pride.
In other news, vacant property owners in Wilmington will now face civil fines and penalties if their properties are violating or licensing inspection codes. An ordinance passed by City Council gives owners more time to pay the fines and appeal, but mainly changes violations from criminal to civil. Council members say criminal penalties have not been effective in deterring code violations on vacant properties, and they believe civil fines will be a greater deterrent. The first offense is a misdemeanor with a fine of at least $250, but no more than $1,000. Corporations can be fined as much as $5,000. Each week a violation goes unresolved will count as a separate offense, and fines increase with each violation. Its sponsor, Councilwoman Maria Cabrera, says neighbors of these properties are the ones that suffer most, and communities with more vacant properties have higher crime rates. The ordinance also gives the city an opportunity to seize a property if violations go unchecked. Cabrera notes sometimes owners can't afford to fix and maintain their properties, and she wants to help find ways to help those owners get their lots up to code. To culminate the celebration of Black History Month and the continued celebration of 100 years as a full-service police agency, the Delaware State Police would like to honor one of the first African-American troopers to join its ranks. Lieutenant Frank Chandler, as well as the first African-American to lead its diverse ranks, Colonel Nathaniel Queen, Jr. Lieutenant Frank Chandler was among the first African-American male troopers hired by the Delaware State Police. He retired back in 1992 after 20 years of dedicated service. During the summer, Lieutenant Chandler works with the Delaware Office of Highway Safety, where he conducts annual seatbelt surveys. Nathaniel McQueen Jr. is the first and only African-American trooper to attain the rank of superintendent for the Delaware State Police. Prior to joining the Delaware State Police, he served as a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. After 32 years of faithful and loyal service as a Delaware State Trooper, he has continued his commitment to service and currently holds the position of Secretary for the Delaware Department of Safety and Homeland Security, where he has since been since 2020. DETV joins the Delaware State Police in thanking you, Lieutenant Chandler and Secretary McQueen, for your unwavering commitment, sacrifice, and dedication to the citizens of Delaware. Delaware beach replenishment could potentially impact your summer season. Here's why. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has informed Delaware coastal towns that beach replenishment projects will begin in mid-March, starts in Rehoboth Beach, and eventually makes its way all the way down to Fenwick Island. Contractors will begin pre-construction work in Rehoboth Beach next week with a goal to begin pumping sand onto the shore on April 1st. Fenwick Island, which is last on the list for dredging, will have to deal with the project during its busy summer season. Speaking of the summer season, if you're looking for a summer job, you gotta have a Wawa. Starting this week, the convenience chain is launching its summer hiring campaign. Wawa is looking for about 1,500 new seasonal associates to fill positions here in the First State. If you're interested in finding a job, check out wawa.com/careers. It's the biggest outreach effort of the year of nonprofits across the First State. The Do More 24 online giving campaign is sponsored by the United Way of Delaware and Spur Impact. In a span of 24 hours, donors are able to search the hundreds of nonprofits that are a part of this year's campaign to support and give back to those organizations serving communities statewide every day. What's unique about this campaign is that participation outweighs dollar amounts. Organizations who get the most donations will have their funds matched. We're joined now by DETV founder Ivan Thomas, who's here to tell us more about DETV's mission and the importance of keeping local television alive and thriving here in the First State. Hey, Ivan.
Matt, how are you doing? Thank you so much. Let me tell you, local television is very important in the community. Where we are the drums for the community, we here at DETV let everyone know what's going on. And I remember there was a time during COVID that what we did with COVID was we allowed, the governor allowed us to be the messengers, the ones that were able to tell people where they can go to get vaccinated, where they can go for help. And also, I also have to say thank you to Newcastle County for helping us, who allowed us to do the same thing. Now, what we're doing now here with cable TV is something a little different that Delaware hasn't seen yet. We're making sure that we're keeping everyone aware of everything that's going on from downstate to here. So we have everything from shows from Good Morning Wilmington that's highlighting nonprofits and average Joes in the community to the news that we're bringing to you daily, live here on DETV. So public access TV is a must, right? And I also have to say this. We're keeping you up to date what's going on down at Legislative Hall. And that's with the show called The Agenda. Because there is an agenda, and we want to make sure that you are a part of that. Be sure to go to domore24delaware.org and give what you can. A little bit goes a long way here on Public Access TV. Thanks. Back to you, Matt.
Ivan, thank you so much. And the campaign starts this Thursday, March 2nd at 6 p.m. and will go until 6 p.m. on Friday. Now, speaking of Ivan, it's going to be a fun-filled weekend for the Wilmington Public Library as Delaware Dancing with the Stars will be here. Delaware Dancing with the Stars is back in full effect this year at the Wilmington Public Library. You may recognize some of these familiar faces on your screen as Delaware's best and brightest. These 8 couples will be battling it out on the dance floor for the Delaware Dancing with the Stars title, and DETV's own founder and chief visionary officer Ivan Thomas is a contestant in this year's competition. He's also interviewing all the contestants this week, so be sure to catch them all across our social media platforms. And Ivan, good luck. In sports news, the Atlantic 10 Women's Basketball Championship brings 15 universities from 9 different states to Wilmington's Chase Fieldhouse later this week. This year's tournament runs from March 1st to March 5th. This is the second year the A10's 3-year commitment to hold the tournament in Wilmington. Last year saw about 13,000 people attending the games, with an estimated $2 million in economic impact right here in our area. Early rounds of the A10 tournament will be televised on ESPN Plus or the CBS Sports Network, and the March 5th title matchup is set for broadcast on ESPNU, drawing additional eyes to Wilmington and the Chase Fieldhouse. You can still get tickets for the event. They start at $15 and can be purchased online at Atlantic10.com. In other sports news, Salesianum and Ursuline were crowned state champions of the Boys and Girls State Championships on Saturday at the University of Delaware. Salesianum captured their 7th straight championship, accumulating 343 team points to outscore second-place charter school of Wilmington. Sally's only won 2 races, which were their 200 and 400 freestyle relays, but were able to score points in 7 different races throughout the night. Ursuline was able to edge out the Charter School of Wilmington by 6 points to capture the 2023 Girls State Championship by a score of 298 to 292. Ursuline didn't win a single race, but placed in 10 of them. Ursuline wins its first state championship since 2017. Congratulations to them. And a Smyrna teen is all smiles after appearing and winning big on a popular game show. 13-year-old Caden Nye was on Wheel of Fortune last week. He told host Pat Sajak that he's been watching the show since he was 2 years old, and even, get this, revealed to Pat that he's even dressed up as him for Halloween when he was little. Caden won more than $19,000 on the show. Caden, I need a loan. Before we sign off tonight, we want to send our thoughts to the Spectrum News 13 team down in Orlando, Florida. As you may have heard on national news, a gunman in Central Florida killed a woman Wednesday, returned to the scene and killed TV reporter Dylan Lyons, who was covering that death, and then fatally shot a 9-year-old girl nearby before he was arrested. Lyons was born and raised in nearby Philadelphia. One of the station's photographers, Jesse Walden, was critically injured in the shooting. Walden is in stable condition at last check, and as of this weekend, he was up and moving around the hospital. While everyone involved in such an absolute tragedy tries to make sense of what happened, this one, as so do many others, hit home for us here at DETV News. And like many news outlets across the country, we want to extend our sincerest condolences and support to the victim's family and the whole team at Spectrum News 13. That's going to do it for this edition of DETV News. Be sure to follow us all across your favorite social media platforms. And while you're there, check out our website. That's detvch.com. With this edition of DETV News, I'm Matt Ford. Stay well. We'll see you next time.